We have the ability to set the course for our life with the thoughts that we allow to stay in our mind. Let me explain what I'm saying. Let's just say you're in a situation where you're relaxing and you're just going on with life. You're doing whatever, and a negative thought hits your mind. It could be a negative thought about you. It could be a negative thought about a situation. It could be a negative thought about someone that you know. And if you don't catch the thought and question it, you may attract and think about other thoughts that support that first negative thought. And now all of a sudden, now you're in a negative emotion. And this negative emotion will steal joy and will cause you to be tense and be in frustration. There was a thought that entered my mind about a person that's in my life, accusing them of having an issue with me because of something that didn't happen. I think it was like there was a change in their pattern. Like we usually talked at a certain time, or we would just communicate more frequently, and they didn't. So all of a sudden, this thought hit my head like, oh, they got a problem with you. And I remember at the time, the first thing I thought was, well, what evidence do I have that they have a problem with me? And it takes like some, I would just say it just takes like some awareness to even check the thoughts that enter your mind. But I know that when negative thoughts will hit your head, I know that thoughts come from a place that is unseen. Thoughts come from a place that's invisible. And that invisible place is run by positive forces and negative forces. Whether you believe in God or not, it's ruled by light and darkness, this invisible place. And this invisible places can offer up thoughts to man. And when these thoughts just enter your head, a lot of people just accept them. And if the thought isn't strengthening, if it isn't building, if it isn't affirming, if it isn't positive, it's most certainly coming from that negative place. And a lot of times those thoughts are designed to stir up controversy and to stir up confusion. And what happens is if you accept those thoughts as law and decide that those thoughts are true, you will find that those thoughts will bring with it a lot of other thoughts. Let me give you an example. Let's say, for instance, you're walking into a space and you need to be bold and confident. But the first thought that hits your mind is, I'm not worthy to be in this room, or these people don't want to listen to me. I'm not good enough. I can't do it. All of a sudden, if you accept that thought and meditate on it too long, and what does meditation mean? Meditation means to just ponder and to think on something. So you ponder, you think about that thought too long of, maybe I'm not worthy, maybe I'm not good enough. Guess what? That thought has brothers, sisters, and cousins. And guess what those brothers, sisters, and cousins are? With I'm not good enough, I can't do it. The brothers, sisters, and cousins is I'm not supposed to win. Nobody ever does good that comes from where I came from. These are just relatives of that initial thought of I'm not worthy, I can't do it. So the thing is if you meditate on the wrong thoughts long enough, those thoughts will bring with it more negative thoughts, and it just makes it harder to move forward and to make progress. There's something you can do called affirmations. It's a way to actually replace negative thoughts with positive statements. It's a way to actually replace what's entered your mind and was trying to sell you on something that isn't true, replacing it with what you want to see happen. You know, in Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21, it talks about the things we speak, we will actually reap the fruit of the things that we say. So if a thought hits my head and I start to speak that negative thing, my life will go in the direction of that thought. But if I replace that thought with what I want to see and say something positive, what'll happen is my life will now then follow that thought. I had a moment to where I was working to pass this exam. This was probably like 15, 16 years ago now. And this exam was a financial exam. And I remember going into the exam, I had studied, but I felt like I could have studied better or studied more. As soon as I entered the exam room, actually, let me back up. Prior to me entering the exam room, these thoughts hit my head like I can't do it. And I remember back then, like I was reading these books on self-development and self-improvement. And I remember that what I could do is I could rewrite, I could exchange those statements for statements of what I wanted to see or the outcome that I wanted to experience. And I remember saying to myself, I can do all things. Every test I take, I pass. I pass every test with a passing grade. These are just replacing those negative things that was trying to enter my mind. And when I did that, I remember writing about like maybe 7 or 8 statements. I wrote these statements out and I passed the exam. And that's just one example. There's been a lot of other examples where I've had to use my words to change the way my mind was trying to sell me on the way things should go. I remember walking into rooms and having thoughts of lack of confidence. And I remember having to talk to myself and encourage myself and push myself in the direction of how I wanted to show up in that room. So I'm not the only one though. Like, think about it. You may be listening to me and you may be resonating with the fact that even in your own life personally, there's many times throughout the day that something negative will enter your mind. And like I said, thoughts come from an invisible place and we don't know where these thoughts are coming from. But if it's not affirming, if it's not building, if it's not strengthening, if it's not encouraging, you got to know that that thought is actually designed to take from you rather than add to you. So hope this strengthens you today. Just a lesson on affirmations and using our words to move our lives in a different direction. You can even apply this to if you're going about your day and a negative thought enters your mind about a person. Now all of a sudden you got an attitude towards this person, or you're thinking about a conversation and you're arguing to yourself at this person in your mind, and that argument and that situation isn't even happening. But because these negative thoughts have entered your mind about this person that actually isn't even proven to be true, those are things that also need to be watched, because that will cause our emotions to become negative, which steals from our destiny rather than adds to it. So just wanted to drop this little nugget on you today, and wishing you all well. I'll talk to you on the next one. Peace.